Sometimes it feels like the noise around us drowns out the quieter moments worth noticing. This is 10 Better Minutes, a place to pause and hear some stories that offer a steadier view of the world. Here, we share recent real-life stories that do not ignore the hard parts, but remind us there is more to the picture. I am your host, Ian Rhodes, and I appreciate you spending these few minutes with me. Today, we will hear about a woman acting calmly in a sudden emergency, and an older dog collecting small comforts in his own way. But first, I want to start with a story about a man who found connection simply by reaching out to his neighbors with a friendly wave. After Roman Butzloff's parents broke up about a year ago, the bright, friendly 4-year-old in Concord, North Carolina, still greeted people with a smile. But inside he carried a quiet loneliness. His father had moved to Florida, and his grandparents lived out of state, so the usual circle of closeness felt smaller than it used to. Then, one ordinary afternoon, a neighbor named Wade Fulgham across the street decided to go meet him. Just stopping by and saying hello changed the rhythm of Roman's days. Wade introduced Roman to other neighbors, and soon conversations happened right outside, like they had always been meant to. As the community grew warmer, Roman began to invite people into his world. He drew them into soccer, basketball, and baseball games, and into swimming lessons and a preschool open house. Birthdays became a sweet, practical celebration too. When Roman turned another year older, his mother Anna invited senior citizen neighbor friends, and those neighbors told her they loved how he runs up and hugs them. Before long, Roman had more than visitors. He had connections. A dozen neighbors started sharing photos, dropping by with cheerful updates, and treating one another like part of the same team. Roman's inner loneliness is gone, not because anything complicated happened, but because someone reached out first, and then the neighborhood kept reaching back. On a Sunday afternoon at Reassurance Park in Plainfield Township, Michigan, something terrifying happened fast. And in the middle of it, one trained person stepped forward with steady hands. Marisa Mojica acted right away. She had CPR certification for infants, children, and adults. When a 2-year-old girl was pulled from the water unconscious and not breathing around 4:30 p.m, Mojica moved in to take over. First, she gave rescue breaths, using mouth to mouth, because the child needed air more than anything. But when the breaths alone were not doing the job, she switched to chest compressions, pressing in rhythm to help the body keep going. She estimated she cared for the girl by herself for about 2 minutes before help arrived, and those minutes mattered. Later, the little girl began breathing again after compressions were started. She was taken to the hospital and then released, a quiet ending that still feels impossible to believe while you are listening. What stays with me is how hope can look so practical. It is a person remembering what to do, even for a frozen second, and then doing the next right thing. Training does not predict emergencies, but it can prepare a hand to help when the world suddenly slows down. In Frisco, Texas, there is a simple Saturday ritual that starts long before the sun, and it is all about fresh bread, neighborly faces, and showing up for one another. Today, we get to meet the person turning an early morning passion into a whole community habit. What Angela Henson does begins at about 2:30 a.m. when she wakes up to bake and stock Little Bit Bakery for her front porch. By the time 8 a.m. arrives or when she opens, the treats are ready. Fresh sourdough loaves and English muffins, along with cinnamon rolls and oatmeal cream pies that people actually plan their mornings around. She is baking from home, and the Texas cottage food law helps make it possible to share her food in a local, personal way. And then the line begins. Neighbors start lining up before sunrise each Saturday, eager to snag what they love most, because popular items often disappear within a few hours. Angela says her typical Saturday means about 85 loaves of sourdough and nearly 100 English muffins, and she has even invested in a bread oven to keep up with demand. What stands out is how her good action becomes everyone else's support. Customers tell her they want to see her succeed, and they do not treat it like a transaction. They treat it like a shared victory, one warm loaf and one small early morning choice at a time. When Duke arrived at a rescue again and again, his family kept asking the same question. Could an elderly golden retriever with a mind of his own ever settle in? Duke was nearly labeled unadoptable because he did something oddly consistent. He would steal household items that were not food and carry them to his bed, then guard them as if they were treasures only he could protect. His new owner, Kathy Hoyt, says she heard of the whole collection: a lamp, framed poster art, a cooler, a teapot, a creamer, and a sugar bowl. Even electronics, including her Kindle, her phone, and laptops. Professionals were consulted, but reversing the behavior was very difficult, especially at Duke's age. So instead of forcing change, Kathy tried a different kind of care. She did not punish him. She gave him space and waited until he was ready. When Duke allowed it, she would retrieve the items from his bed, one by one, with the calm patience of someone who understands that safety can be taught slowly. Kathy believes Duke's collecting is intentional, a hoarding personality that helped him feel steady in earlier instability. And over time, Duke kept doing what he always did, only now it came with belonging. Kathy reports he is happy, and that simple fact matters. In Duke's home, trust is not demanded. It is earned, day after day. Sometimes the hardest part of parenting stress is not the moment it happens, but the replay afterward, and the question of what helps your child feel safe again. You know that feeling when you snap during everyday things like snacks or bath time. The words come out sharper than you meant, and then your mind starts flipping back through it. A counselor, Tracy Carson, puts it simply: bodies are not meant to stay perfectly regulated all the time. We are constantly checking for danger through fight or flight, and parenting can trigger that sense fast. In secure attachment, the big piece is not perfection, it is repair. Research suggests caregivers need to be attuned about 30% of the time, which is a real breath of relief, because it means connection does not have to be constant to be meaningful. The article describes what to do when the rupture already happened. First, stabilize yourself. Then tell your child, "I need a minute. I will be right back." Come back, name what you did, and apologize. After that, reconnect through closeness, like a hug or sitting close on the couch, so your child feels you are still a safe relationship. Francesca Emma adds that children need parents who come back after hard ones, and Olivia Pham reminds us that repair can begin even in infancy. Dropping a bottle too hard or walking away while a child cries are opportunities to return. It is such a simple hope, really. When you repair, you are teaching that disturbances are survivable and that love does not disappear when you lose your temper. As always, I have a gentle tip for you to help your mind settle and to bring a little more joy back into your day. Today, we are focusing on what made life feel more human today and how you can recreate that feeling on purpose. Maybe it was a moment you did not rush through, a real look from someone, the sound of a bird you noticed on the way in, the warmth of a mug in your hands, or the slight shift in your breathing when you stopped and stood still for 1 minute. Here is the practical part. Pick one small moment from today that felt like a reminder that you are living a life, not just passing time. Then ask yourself quietly what exactly made it feel human. Was it connection, comfort, curiosity, or relief? Now do one simple action that matches that quality, even if it is tiny. Send one honest message. Step outside for one full breath cycle. Put your feet on the floor and name 3 things you can see. You are not trying to fix everything. You are just giving your nervous system a signal that you are safe enough to feel. Try this today and watch how quickly your world returns to you. Hey friends, we're at the end of this episode, and I just want to leave you with a steadier feeling than the world can usually manage on its own. Even when things feel loud or heavy, there are still people choosing decency, communities showing up for one another, and quiet hope doing its work. If you would like a little more of that to clear some noise from your day, please follow or subscribe to 10 Better Minutes, and new episodes come out every day. And if you have a good news story link or something positive happening near you that more people should hear about, share it in the comments. This is Ian Rhodes with 10 Better Minutes. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.